Well, Randy Blazak is the chair of the Coalition Against Hate Crime and sociology professor at the University of Oregon. He joins me now from Portland. Randy, this is a horribly familiar routine. Another shooting, another presidential visit to grieve with relatives. Will it change, do you think, America's relationship with readily available guns?
Yeah, I think that is a larger issue that this country is just stuck on. It's stuck on its obsession with guns. We have more guns than people in the United States. But the larger issue here, even greater than guns, is the normalization of white supremacist rhetoric in our mainstream media. That these stories or these tales that are being told that somehow white people are at risk of being displaced in America or being replaced by minorities and by immigrants used to be something you would hear at a Klan rally. And now we are hearing it on cable news shows. We're seeing it sort of on the internet and in social media. And it has taken something that was kind of a fringe underground, the white supremacist underground, and mainstreamed it. And so, unfortunately, I think with the access to guns, this is kind of the new normal that we live in America.
This guy was 18 years old, this perpetrator, on the cusp of adulthood. Is it enough for people to condemn him and what he stood for and take them on politically? Or can a president actually do more to pull the lever in the opposite direction?
Yeah, that is a really good question. And I think one of the things that we forget about when we talk about crimes like this is we focus on the perpetrator and not the victims and the incredible trauma that's experienced yet again by, in this case, Black people in America or Muslims in America or Asians in America. And one of the things that a president can do is help us to build the empathy, the understanding of how people are targeted just because of their religion or the color of their skin. And by building that empathy, we can create a sort of social support network that may reduce these acts, because we know that these acts can be interrupted. We've got evidence, we've got data that 80% of the violent terrorist attacks that have been interrupted in this country have been because of people known to the perpetrators or the potential perpetrators stepped in. So what we want to do in our leadership, and this is something that's been lacking in this country for a while, is to build that empathy with people who don't look like us, with people who may pray differently or love differently, that we want to really build a connection to them as members of our community, so we don't see this as something that is happening to somebody else. It's happening to us. And we really need national leadership on that aspect. We focus too much on the perpetrators and not enough on the people who are targeted because of who they are.
Of course, America, like most democracies, value the freedom of expression. But is it an argument to curtail in some ways the freedom of these panel shows on TV or on the internet to ramble and rant and give succor to the white supremacist thinking?
Yeah, this is such a core issue that we face, that we love our First Amendment rights to say anything and to be as offensive as possible. But these things are happening on private platforms. They're happening on gaming platforms, on internet channels, on cable news channels that are not protected by the First Amendment. And so we have a right to boycott or to express our desire that they change their business model. But at the moment, hate is profitable. And so we really have to have a community response on the other side that says, yeah, that doesn't work anymore, that we're not going to support your advertisers or we're not going to support your products. And it takes this sort of national conversation. I'm not sure when we get to that point, but I think if we look at the model of how the world sort of responded to Russian oil, just to take an example from the news, it's possible to change behavior kind of quickly when there's a will to do it. And I'm hoping that we don't need another tragedy like this in America to have the will to say enough's enough. Let's take it off of these platforms.
Randy Blazak at the University of Oregon, thanks for being part of our program today.